Folks, I'm Steve McKenna, sitting here with Andy Kelly and Tracy Wallace, and we're going to be doing some sessions next few weeks talking about different situations if you've been in your house like we have for a long time and what you're thinking about doing. So the session we're doing now is, should I stay or should I go? And we get that from a lot of our clients about whether they want to stay in their house, renovate it, and move on. So we're going to do a couple of little sessions, talk about things. If something hits home and you want to discuss with us, give us a call, contact us on our website, yourhomeforsale.com. But Andy, let's start with you. Should I stay or should I go? What are we hearing from people?
It's an excellent question. And a lot of folks, their number one concern is, where do I go? And I mean, that's something we can certainly help with. A lot of our clients have decided they don't want to do the new roof and they're not sure they want to paint the house again. They're kind of ready to move on. And the exit strategy is what we're trying to help them find.
Tracy, what are your thoughts about people that we're meeting with as far as their idea of, do they put money into the house or do they want to put money into a newer property and invest into themselves?
Well, I think it's really specific for each person, depending on what they want. How long have they lived in their big house? I only had a larger home later on, so I haven't lived here long enough, I feel, and everyone has a different feeling about it. So I think it's an individual decision as to what makes the most sense for them.
Sometimes people ask, how much money do I put into my home? You guys
I love the idea of making your home work for you. I think putting in an elevator, changing the floor plan, I think are all very valuable things to do that, although they do cost money to do, I think it can save you money sometimes in the long run if you have the correct floor plan. I'm a big believer in that, because when it is time to sell down the road, even people can bring it back to maybe its original status, or they can renovate it how they feel. So I never am opposed to making your home work for you. I love the idea.
Yeah, and that's, it's interesting because we know a lot of people that they love their neighborhood, they love their house, or like you said, they love their interest rate,
Right.
or they don't have a mortgage. And we see that a lot. What are you thinking about people we've just talked to quite a few people recently about renovating their house or selling. It's almost 50-50. Some people should stay, some people should consider moving along.
I think when people get to the fixed income point of their lives, and we're talking about different ages, those large projects do become less important. They're thinking more about, I want to have this amount of money when I'm actually no longer working and retiring. But I do think it makes sense to stay on top of your home. And I agree with Tracy. Enjoy it while you're living in it. If you want the step-in shower and no longer need the tub, by all means. It's a great move. And anybody, honestly, I say over 55, renovate as if you may have a hip replaced, or you might not be able to navigate stairs, even if it's for a period of time. Always keep in mind aging in your home and what you might need over the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. Are people looking to stay in their home because it's perfect size for them right now, or are they downsizing or upsizing? What are we actually seeing, and what do we feel as how we in our houses? You've got a newer home, you're happy
Right.
here.
Right.
What's going on?
I don't want to leave. So some people in my situation might want to leave because maybe the house is too big for just two of us. We're empty nesters. But I love my house and I want to stay. So I would prefer to change it in the future, try to stay here as long as I can, based on a variety of factors. My interest rate works for me right now. The location is great for me right now. I can have family coming. I can be hosting events. I'm not ready to just walk away from my hosting days. And I think for me, it's not ready. I'm not ready to downsize. And I know there's a whole trend for some people like me who are actually upsizing, where they want to have extended family come and live with them, or they want their kids, their adult children to be coming home. They still want to be the center of hosting of their families, because some families, individuals don't want to do the hosting anymore, but there might be one person who does. And I sort of feel like that could be me, and that's why I would prefer to stay in my home.
And Annie, you've been in your home a long time, and your 4 kids are pretty much out of the house right now.
Mm-hmm.
But are they going to come back? And we say it a lot with our clients. Who do you think's coming back? Is your youngest going to come back after college and stay there for a while? Are any of your sons going to come back? Your daughter come back because now they want to save money to get married, start a family? What are you going to think about doing?
So we have been in a house for a long time, and it's funny, we're blessed to live pretty close to the city. We're urbanized. So, and my kids right now at this moment are all also in and around the city. My youngest will probably come home after college, so we are not quite there. Having said that, we're a little tired of the snow duty and the landscaping and so forth. So we're starting to think about what's the plan going to be. And in my mind, maybe 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
So I'm really keeping an eye on what condos do I like, what locations do I like, do I want to spend some time in the city? You know, really go right in town, something I've always wanted to do, or do I want to go, you know, to somewhere like Concord where there's a kind of a nice active community. I like my community, so I think I could easily stay if I find the right next location.
So it's interesting. So we have different lifestyles, but we're all in the same position.
Yeah.
We have different sized houses. I mean, for me, it's just my wife and Heidi and myself, and we've got a decent sized house. It's small enough, it's perfect size for us, but we're now thinking, do we downsize? Do we want everything on one level? What are we looking for the future? Timing is one of the biggest questions people ask us. When is the right time to sell their house, right? And the honest answer is when it's right for you. What's happening in your life? What are you deciding? Where are you going? And don't worry about the market. We're in Greater Boston. I've said this for years, my entire career. Our values are holding no matter what you see happening in the outside world. You think of it, we have every major university, every major hospital, high tech, and the emerging biotech industry right now. So our values are solid. The most important thing is timing. When is it right for you? Well, everyone says, I've heard it's the springtime. No, I've heard it's the summertime. It's the fall. Honestly, the worst time is probably over Christmas. Otherwise, we've got a solid market. Process involved in getting your house ready. Nobody ever lives the way, or very few people live the way when you see their houses on the market. We live our lives, so we live in our house, and sometimes we have more things that we need to have in the house. But talk about the process, Tracy, and how we help people through that.
Sure. So, like anyone, if you have a very busy lifestyle, you're living in your home, there are going to be many times that we walk through where we're going to maybe offer some suggestions. We're not asking you to rip out your kitchen and put in a new kitchen, things like that, but maybe it's time to do some painting that hasn't been done for a while to brighten up the home. Maybe it's time to remove some carpeting. Maybe it's time to redo some of the wood flooring. Little things that can really make the house shine are super important and make it feel much more attractive and much more updated for a pretty small price.
But it's not HGTV, we're knocking down walls.
No, we're not.
Right.
No, we're not. These are things, and it's getting your systems maintained. Your heating system, when was the last time it was maintained? Things of that nature, just so when questions come up, we have the answers and things look like they've been well cared for, because a well cared for home, just like a well cared for car or anything of that nature, is going to be viewed as more valuable.
Talk about our cleaners or stagers.
Right, so we bring in our cleaner to clean and make your home shine. We have stagers that are going to ask you to take out 10 of the 12 coats that you probably have packed in your closet like normal people do. We're going to try to showcase your home as large as possible. We're going to have you remove the big chair in the living room that everyone's had to walk around for the last 10 years. We're just really going to streamline, have the flow be, open, make the house look as large as possible. And basically nobody could really live in a house like we're going to design in that nature, but it will be very appealing for people visiting your home.
Yeah. So we've staged the home, had it clean, little handyman work, professional photographer comes in, does floor plans, photographs.
Yeah.
And then we start putting the plan in place together, which Annie will talk about next. All right, so folks, we've met, we've done the analysis on your house, we've had it all prepped, staged, photographed, it goes on the market, and all of a sudden it hits everywhere throughout the world. Multiple listing, the internet. Annie, walk us through the process from the beginning. We start showing how it affects the sellers. Do they stay in the house? Do they leave? What happens through the entire process, and how long does it take?
So, readying the home can take a while, and people should know that, in fact, we have stagers, cleaners, floor plan professional photographers that we pay for. So some of the readying things, and if you're painting, that might be on the seller, but we get our team in and we do a great job with that, and then we put the house on the market. It really can, from beginning to end, soup to nuts, take about 4 to 6 weeks. You could be out of your house within 2 months if that's your desire. The first weekend we put the home on the market, we do a broker tour, we try to get the agents in. People still buy with agents, it's very important for them to see the home. And then we want to get the buyers in. So we create a vibe at our open houses. We want people to be enthusiastic. They see other buyers, they're interested, they become more interested. We look at the neighborhood, we look at the weather, we consider a lot of different factors when we schedule our open houses, and we want to create that open, welcome feel. We hope for offers Monday or Tuesday, and a lot of buyers scoff at that, but the reality is it gives them a chance to go back a second time, bring their folks, if we set a deadline with our sellers, to really think about it. Some might choose to pre-inspect. And that means they've done an inspection prior to putting their offer.
Which makes it a much better buyer for you as a seller.
Very attractive offer. And then the offers are perhaps due Monday or Tuesday. Offers come in, we review the offers with the seller, and we try to find the best buyer for that seller.
Coming to see your home, we go back to the office, we prepare the analysis. Now together, we come and we're going to sit down with you. First of all, there's no pressure. It's really giving you information so you can start setting the stage of deciding what's best for you, what's best for your lifestyle, what's best for your family, and yes, what's best for the value of the home. So what are we going to go over with the value of the home? How do we show them values? What are we going to say to the client when they say, well, how come my home is worth this amount of money? I thought my neighbor's house was worth more than mine, or my house is worth more than my neighbor's, or my house is nicer. People always compare it to the neighbors and their friends and the internet. You brought the internet up. Don't believe the internet. That's all we have to say. But talk about the presentation. How are we going to give them information between the objective value and the subjective value?
Yeah, we're definitely looking at, every house has a wow factor, as you say, and we're looking at the wow factor. It could be your neighborhood, your location, your house itself, your kitchen, like this kitchen, but, and we're looking at the competition. What was the wow factor in the other houses? What is the average buyer going to compare your house to in terms of recent sales, other homes on the market, the other house on the street that sold? So we're really going to go over all the details of that home. We are trying to look objectively as an appraiser would, but then we also take a look at the subjective and what's the market value, and what is a buyer looking for and why are they going to look to your home to purchase.
Yeah. So if you're like us and you're thinking about, do I stay in my home? Do I renovate? Is it the perfect house for us? One of the beginning opportunities is to find out, well, what's the value of your home? And put your plan together. And we'll talk about that in our next session too. But honestly, contact us, give us a call. There's no pressure, there's no obligation, but we try to give people an opportunity that we put a plan in front of you, understand what the value of your home is, so that you can start putting the pieces to the puzzle together.